I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you now. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you now. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you now. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you now.
Hey, what is the word? Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another one of my videos. You guys have been super supportive since I did start this channel, and you literally have no idea how much it means to me, so thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. So today's video is going to be a little bit more personal or whatever. I just want to give you guys a little bit of insight as far as me living in LA and what made me go and why I left LA, and kind of give you guys all the tea on my life. So I guess I'm just going to talk about it and let you know what I experienced, in hopes that maybe if you are kind of going down a similar path as me, you kind of have a little bit more insight on what to expect maybe, or just, you know, just to know like my story, and maybe you can relate to me if you have already experienced it yourself. But go ahead and let me know in the comment section if you have your own traveling LA story or anything crazy like that. My journey. Basically, I started dancing when I was 14 on my high school dance team. I was also a part of the step team as well in my high school. I definitely had realized early on that I do have a huge passion and love for dancing and performing. So I realized that early on, my first year of high school. I literally could not wait to perform at the football games, basketball games, competitions, you name it. Although I was dancing in high school, it was just the high school dance team, so I didn't get any like really intense training, but I did get the basics for sure. We didn't really do a lot of hip hop, which I really did love, so that's one thing I really missed out on as far as high school goes. But when we did, I got to choreograph it, which was really fun as well. Being that I did have a love for hip hop, I went and I kind of searched on where I could take hip hop classes and where I could kind of get more of that urban dance feel. And I ended up finding a studio called Famous Fresh Studios, and I met my mentor, Wiz. Shout out to him. Make sure you guys go ahead and follow him on Instagram. He's traveled, he's worked, he's booked, he's done it all, so make sure you guys go ahead and follow him and follow his journey. He is great. But I did find Famous Fresh Studios, and I instantly was just like so in love. It was a smaller studio at the time, but I grew a bond with everyone that danced there. I really felt at home, and I really got to have some really good training. At some point, kind of early on, Wiz did kind of see potential in me and saw that I kind of had a natural ability to dance, and I ended up being a part of his dance crew. He had a dance crew called Fly Boys. They had been around for a really long time. He ended up having me be one of the Fly Girls, and it was super dope because we would just have rehearsals late night until like maybe like 1:30 in the morning, like just vibing out, choreographing, learning, training, and it was phenomenal. I literally fell in love with those rehearsals. Now thinking back, like I would do anything to like kind of go through that point in my life again, because I really did enjoy it. So the first time I went to LA, I had gotten a scholarship to go to Dave Scott's Hip Hop Intensive, and I was super grateful that I got the opportunity to do that because it literally changed my whole life. At that point on, I went there and I felt myself pushing and fighting to really be the best dancer I can be, you know what I mean? But while taking those classes and doing that intensive, I guess it had never dawned on me like actually being a professional dancer. Like I could make that my job, my career, my profession. Like I could literally live off of that. It didn't really click, but once I went to LA and then I kind of hear people talk, I got more familiar with the dance community in St. Louis, and that's what everyone did. If they hadn't already lived in LA or been there, they were currently living there, or they just moved there or just moved back or whatever it was, and I was like, wow, like this is really a thing. So people were kind of talking in my ear, and I was just talking about it, and I got really excited. I was like, you know what, I want to fly back and forth, I want to experience this, I want to interact with people, meet people. And I had people in my ear kind of telling me like, oh, you're gonna like waste so much money flying back and forth, like you might as well just move, like you're literally gonna waste all that money. And it kind of got in my head, and I was like, you know what, like I might as well just go ahead and move. Like why not? Like I can do this. Like everyone does. I take that back. I was gonna say everyone does this, but that's totally a lie. I mean, I could literally move to LA and be right around with the agencies, with the auditions, and just be there, and it could be fantastic. From there, I decided I was going to move to LA. At this point, I graduated early from high school. I had just turned 19, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I talked with my mom. She wasn't really fond of me not going to school, but once we had talked about it and I told her I was serious, her and the rest of my family literally supported me so much, and they helped me get ready to move, helped me find an apartment, helped me move down there. Like, they literally helped me so much. I honestly, it would have been 10 times harder if I didn't have my family to support me and help me with moving there. So I'm super grateful for them. Next thing you know it, I moved out to LA May of 2017, and it was honestly surreal. I remember my parents and my sister leaving, and I was just sitting there like, now what? You know, like, I'm in this empty apartment, I have a bed, no furniture, no anything, and I'm just like, wow, like, I'm here. I literally, what? What? Moved there. I started working at Sprint. I was taking classes. I took class at Millennium, at Movement Lifestyle, at Playground, at Evolution. Like, I was taking class, I was doing it, and it was great. It was super thrilling, super exciting, because it's like I literally would be at home in St. Louis watching these people that I'm now taking class with. Crazy feeling. I quit Sprint, and I ended up doing background and audience work just so I kind of had a more free schedule in case anything did pop off with dance last minute. I was able to do that. Side note, if you guys have any interest or are a little curious as to why I left Sprint, make sure you guys go ahead and click on the link, because I did make a video. It was actually my first YouTube video, getting to know me, and I did a poll and answered why I quit Sprint. So it's a little bit of tea or whatever, so make sure you guys go ahead and watch that video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Wow, that scared me. From there, I did get signed with an agency. I got signed with Movement Talent Agency, MTA. I wasn't familiar with them before I moved out there, but from social media, I saw that they were having auditions. And at that point, I had auditioned for Block, I had auditioned for Clear, and I didn't get either one of those agencies, so I went ahead and I auditioned for MTA. I ended up getting signed with them, so I'm super grateful for that. Got my headshots, got sent on auditions, started doing it, and it was really great. So I did do the background work and audience work, so I had free time and I could work on my own time. I also did Postmates while I was there too, just trying to like hustle and get my own money on the side pretty much. From there, I was a little nervous with my finances. I always had enough to take care of myself and live, but I'm the type of person I want to feel secure, and you know, things pop up, so I'm huge on saving. I'm always saving my money. Ended up getting a job at LA Fitness, which I am so grateful, because working there literally opened doors in my mind that I never thought would be open. I was super into fitness. I was always taking care of myself, always active, and I'm so glad that I ended up working there. But it did take up majority of my time. I worked there pretty much full time, and it consumed me, honestly, working there. It literally consumed me. I realized I was so caught up in work and like working out that I realized I wasn't really taking class nearly as much as I used to. Taking it maybe every couple of weeks, maybe every other month I would take a class or two, and it was just like, wow, like I'm not even really taking class or doing what I came here to do right now. This is not why I moved out here, not to work at LA Fitness, although I love it, like that's not what I'm here for. But prior to me working at LA Fitness, earlier in the year, was early 2018, at that point I was already debating on if I wanted to stay in LA. I knew early on, moving in LA within the first like maybe 2-3 months, I didn't want to live in Los Angeles long term. It was just somewhere I didn't want to be. I didn't see myself living there long term. I just kind of wanted to be there for why I needed to be there and go. And it's kind of dirty. But I had been debating since early 2018 if I really wanted to live in LA still, or kind of where my head was at. I was like, you know, should I give it more time? You know, it's only been like a year. Like, I don't really know. So, and I ended up just signing the lease just to save my own butt, because I didn't know for sure what I was going to do yet. So I signed another year lease. Time kept going on. I would still do performances, like I had friends and stuff, and I was still able to dance and perform, just not really on the scale that I was wanting to do yet. So I was still dancing, and I loved being in rehearsals. I loved rehearsals. Like, getting ready for a show or performance was literally like the most exciting thing for me, and it really always has been. Like, I love it. I really do. As it kind of gets closer to the end of 2018, I'm just like, you know, I'm happy, but I'm not as happy as I could be. My mindset was totally different. Like, my mind did a complete 180. Like, my whole mindset changed. Honestly, to be real, when I had talked about moving to LA, for me, it was like the fame. I could be a professional dancer. Everyone's gonna know me. Everyone's gonna like want to take pictures with me and follow me on social media. And it was all about the fame. Like, that's kind of where like I was heading, and I was like, I want to be known, especially from me growing up and being so shy, but always feeling like I had something to offer, and always felt like I could be that somebody everyone was interested in. It was kind of what I was like searching for. But then when I got there and I'm literally like adulting, I'm literally growing up twice as fast, being that I'm 19, 20 years old, living across the country from my entire family, taking care of myself, living in my first apartment on my own in California at that. Like, my mindset totally changed. I wasn't out for the same things. Like, having to take care of myself, I wasn't worried about the fame. I was worried about being successful. And fame and successful do not really go hand in hand. I mean, they could for some people, but for me, I just realized that's not really what I'm after. I know I have a love for dance. I know I have a passion for dance and performing, but being out here, forcing myself to try to do it this way is something I'm not as concerned with, when I could be at home with my family, with my 13-year-old sister, my 88-year-old Nana, helping my mom. Just being around my family right now at this point in my life was what was important to me. I was doing it before I left, and I can still dance and perform, be involved with dance in St. Louis. I don't need to be in Los Angeles to do what I love. That was just what it was, and that's kind of where my mind was at. I was like, I don't need to be here to do what I love to do. I don't, and I don't want to be here at that. I made amazing friendships, and I learned so much and gained so much from moving out there. I wouldn't change it for anything. I swear to gosh, I really would not change it for the world. Like, it literally had my whole mindset different. I matured so much. I grew so much. I wouldn't change it for anything, but coming towards the end of 2018, that's kind of what I realized. I'm not in it for the fame. And to be out in LA, like, yeah, you gain the fame when you do big jobs, when you work with major artists, when you work with big choreographers. You start to create that fame and build that name for yourself. And it was just something I wasn't as interested in. Of course I want to perform, and I would never pass up the opportunity to perform with any major artist ever. Time out. I'm thirsty. I'm talking too much. You know, but it was like my whole mindset changed. I was like, living out here is not worth the expenses. It's not worth the extra stress, when I'm more concerned with just being successful and happy. The long-term goal, even before I moved, was to open a dance studio and my own dance company. That is what I want to do long-term, down the road, when I can barely walk. I want to have my own company and own studio. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, and I'm just like, you know, I don't need to be here right now to be doing this. I'm 20 years old. I don't want to be stuck here, you know what I mean, missing out on so many things, and just to like force myself to stay because it looks bad if you move home. Everyone knows, like, when you move and then you come home, it's like, oh, like, she didn't make it or she didn't do it. And to be honest, if you are going through this, or if you ever went through it, you have to let it go over your head, because when I tell you, your own happiness comes first. I've lost so many people along the way, and I've lost connections with a lot of people while living in LA and, you know, being in LA, all of that. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, literally no one else matters except for you and how you feel. Nothing. Nobody. Not a single thing. You listen to your heart and what you want to do, because let me tell you what, I moved back December of 2018. It is now January 16th or 15th of 2019, and I could not be happier. I'm so happy with the decision I made to move back home. I'm now with my family. I get to see them every single day. We're around each other more. We're happier together. I am dancing more than I danced in the last year and a half in Los Angeles. Honestly, I love the dance community in St. Louis, period, hands down. I auditioned for a heels company, Rocksteady Heels. She's literally so amazing, and she does so much with this heels company. It is insane. We are forming a sisterhood, and I feel so comfortable at rehearsals. I feel so happy when I train with these girls. She pushes us. She really does push us, and she focuses on us individually, and she makes sure everyone is on top of their period, always. I appreciate that so much, because training in LA, you don't get that. You go to class for an hour and a half and the combo's thrown in your face, and you get picked in select groups if you know the choreographer and you look decent at doing the choreography. So I'm super grateful for Rock City Heels. It's literally made me so happy since I've been home. I've also been training with Red. If you guys don't know who he is, you need to. He is working. He is booked. He's so great. He's just so amazing. And I got to train with him for literally maybe 2 months right before I moved to LA. And I even said while I was living in LA, I wish I got to train with him more. If I had gotten to train with Red more before I left, I'd be out of this world. I saw so much growth in just the 2 months that I trained with Red before I moved. Super grateful for him, and I feel like he sees so much potential in me, and he really does push us and really wants us to be great dancers, and it feels so good having a teacher to teach you these things rather than just having the relationships that they already have and sticking with those students. Ever since I got home, like as far as the dance community, like I've just been much happier, and I'm super grateful that I decided to move home, and I'm here now, and I'm happier than I've been in a really, really, really long time. That being said, go with your gut, go with your heart, do what makes you happy. Don't lose your passion. Don't force yourself to do things that make you lose your passion for what you want to do. I will always be involved with dance. I will have my own dance company. I will have my own dance studio, and I will always be performing. I'm super grateful for the experiences I've had, and I'm super happy that I figured it all out at such a young age. I'm still only 20 years old, and I went and moved and lived across the country on my own, and that's more than so many people could have had the opportunity to do or even had the motivation to do. So be proud of yourself and all your accomplishments and what you strive to do and what you've done, because it honestly is such an achievement. Everything you do, even if it's small, you have to give yourself props. Thank you guys so much for sitting through this video. I hope my journey helps you guys or gives you a little bit of insight for yourself, but make sure you guys always stay strong, stay with your gut, and go with your heart. If you guys haven't already, make sure you go ahead and click the link to see how I go ahead and put in my beautiful ponytail. Also, make sure you guys go ahead and click the link to see my Average Girl makeup tutorial, very similar to the one that I've done today. And please make sure you like and subscribe, comment in the comment section. Let me know any stories or things that you've gone through while living in Los Angeles. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and my new YouTube channel. It literally means so much, and I'm so grateful for you guys. Make sure you tune in to my next video. I will be giving you some tips on the dance industry in LA if you're interested in that at all. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys soon.